Warning. The content in this podcast contains some explicit language which may be offensive to some listeners and may be inappropriate for children. Therefore, the content in this podcast is intended for a mature audience only.
So, when'd you fall in love with hip-hop?
Right here, what we're gonna do is go back.
We got Mika back with us today.
Hey.
So this is MochaTea. This is Dante.
This is Capri.
This is Mika.
We missed her, y'all. She was only gone one episode, but we missed her. It didn't even feel right.
I feel like because we haven't really been with each other and it's been about 3 weeks.
No, it's been 2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks.
I think it's been like 3 weeks.
No, because we were not to last weekend because we were in Atlanta, you were in Chicago, but the week before that we were together.
Where was we at together?
Here.
Oh, did we record that Sunday?
Yeah.
We did.
Or the Sunday before I left?
Yes.
I feel like it's been 3 weeks.
But I think because we're so used to seeing each other and being around each other, it's like...
So it's been 2 weeks and we haven't seen each other. That's not normal.
Well, me and Mika seen each other. We've been seeing each other.
Well, me and Dante seen each other yesterday, too.
Yeah. But it's not all three of us.
Yeah, not all of us.
And
together.
we need all of us.
Exactly.
Hold on. I was telling Dante I didn't even think about doing anything on Friday because I was like, well, Mika can't go, so that means we can't go. Like, even, usually, even if one of us can't go, we send it to the group. And as long as, like, if one of us is like, we ain't available, but I was like, well, Mika.
I think it's different with us, though. Because it's 3 of us.
I know.
And we vibe so well. Like all 3 of us.
Yeah.
But I'm back.
Hey.
We're excited about that.
We are.
Girl, yes.
Trap karaoke in a couple of weeks.
It is.
Yes.
We turning up.
We're going to turn up.
You're going to be excited about that.
And Jerry, yes.
Because I had so much fun at Trap Karaoke in Chicago, y'all.
Did you?
Oh, my gosh. It was so much fun. It was so
it
much
packed?
fun. It was packed house. And it's just live, like...
I know how it is. Well,
yeah,
okay,
like,
so was it better than Dallas?
I think it's just a little different just because, the people around you interact a lot more. Where I like interacting with me a whole lot more. Like, it was just people, like interacting. I don't remember all of that in Dallas.
Well, to me, I think Dallas is an extension of Oklahoma somewhat. But I think when you go to, like, different cities... Because did you notice, like, when we were in Atlanta, it just seemed like all the black people were so nice everywhere we went. Like, I didn't experience, like, anybody, even, like, the whole customer service, nobody had an attitude. It was like everybody was so nice. Right. Even, like, at Candy's restaurant.
Yeah.
And the girl came down there and she checked on us. Like, everybody was nice. I just feel like the vibe is just different. Yeah, it's just different.
And I've always
said
that if I go, like, further east, like, the men in, like, if I leave Oklahoma, I've just noticed that anyway. Like, so many people try to talk to me. Like, anywhere else I go, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're single. Like, why are you single? Like, people are throwing themselves in my fucking feet when I go other places. But when I'm in Oklahoma, it's just not
so
the
I
same,
think the men are different, and I think you experienced that because I have my couple of friends in Atlanta, and they paid. They paid for us to park. They got a stack of ones. They was giving us money to pay the strippers. They paid for lap dances. They bought food. They bought drinks. Like, the hospitality was so real, but we wouldn't have gotten that here.
Yeah, it's the same.
All.
Like, when we was in Chicago, like, we walked into a club, walked around, kind of stood, like, a little bit. This guy, like, noticed me, was like, hey, do y'all need anything? Come with me. We went to VIP section, realized that he was with the people who owned the club, literally got in VIP, and he kept asking, like, do y'all need anything? Do y'all want anything? Got us drinks. We left that club, went to another club. I mean, and they had, like, nice cars. You're talking about Benzes and Jaguars. And I mean, like, we went to the next club, got in the next club for free, bought drinks for us there, like, bought food, like, so the same thing, like y'all said, like, the hospitality was just different. Like,
right. But I've experienced that every time I've gone to Atlanta. Like, it's like every time I'm there, like they buying drinks, like, hey, do you want something? But in Oklahoma, you don't really get that. You don't really get dudes walking up to you
And
like,
that
hey, you want
sucks.
something to drink? It does suck.
That sucks.
It does suck. But just for the fact it was 5 of us and they bought stuff for all 5 of us. Like
Right,
they
that's
treated
what's up.
like both of them had a stack of ones and it's like, here, we didn't have to
Right.
use any of our own money.
Right.
And so that was, I mean, that's what's
That's crazy. Though.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, same
crazy.
here. Like, we didn't use, like, Saturday night, we didn't use none of our own money. Like, all of that was, like, even when I was in trap karaoke, I probably could have got a drink or something, but I wasn't really trying to, I wasn't feeling most of the guys in there. But, like, I mean, I probably got about 4 or 5 numbers out of just in trap karaoke by itself. Like, just dudes, like, was like, oh my gosh, you're just so beautiful. Like, and I don't get that here. Like, dudes act like that's just too much to tell you or give you a compliment
I
here
don't
or
know
tell
what
you
it
you're pretty or
is.
something here.
I don't know what it is about the men here.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I hate to say it like that. I mean, every now and then you might get somebody that might come up to you, but it's not, the vibe is different like when you're in other places.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe just that we want open to out of area because you don't want to hear nobody shit from her.
Or maybe because we know so many people here too.
And you know what I'm saying?
That could be it.
And it might be
Yeah.
just because it's familiar territory. You know, they said, you know, Jesus couldn't really like save the people in his own town. He had to go elsewhere. So I think sometimes that just speaks to the fact that like sometimes you just have to leave what you're familiar with, and people in other spaces, in other areas, and other dynamics or demographics or whatever, I just see you and see something different than what the people around you see.
I don't know. I just don't see the dudes here in Oklahoma doing that for like, even like a woman out of town. I just don't see them doing that.
They may though.
Buying drinks, buying
don't know that,
food,
though.
We don't
giving
know though.
stacks of money. I don't know. I mean, you're right. We don't
know.
We don't know that. But I mean, I've
Yeah.
still met people that I've never met before, and
Here?
still haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the bar buying my own drink, and then right after I buy my own drink, hey, what's up? What's your name? So I don't know.
Did you see me just pull my money out this first?
Right.
I mean, but I've had
So-
guys who weren't from Oklahoma. Like, if you weren't from Oklahoma and you were here visiting Oklahoma, who have bought drinks for me and who have taken care of me for the night in Oklahoma.
You said who were not from here?
They weren't from here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's my
I've
point,
never
yeah.
had a guy where I've, like, been in Oklahoma. Well, I take that back. I have had people kind of, but that's rare. Like, I've had people buy drinks from time to time in Oklahoma. But if I run into a guy that's not from Oklahoma that, like, sees me or runs into me here and he's, like, in the city for the time or whatever, or he's new to the city or whatever, I've had guys from other places buy me drinks and pay for things. Like, we used to have a guy me and Nisha used to call him Mr. By the Bar, because anytime he wasn't from here. And he like had just recently moved here. He like was just new to the area or whatever, and he kind of like had a thing for me. So like anytime he was in the club, anytime we saw him, we never had to buy a drink. He was just by the bar.
Which I think it's wrong to say that dudes in Oklahoma don't do that, because I mean I've had guys that live here.
Know.
No, I mean I've had guys that live here who have purchased me drinks every time I've been out, but it's just that one person. But it's not
Somebody
the
you
norm.
may be meeting
But it's
up at the club,
or somebody I know. Yeah,
That she's familiar with.
Exactly.
yeah, I'm
that you're
familiar with. It's somebody I'm familiar
Not a
with.
random man like
Not a
like
random
the
man.
Drink. Exactly.
It's
No.
not a random man.
Yeah.
Most guys that I'm familiar with, I've had, like, if I'm familiar with them, they've bought drinks.
Yes.
But if I'm not familiar with them, yeah, I'm buying my own drinks.
Right.
And it's crazy because we were, me and Crystal were at a, event one time, and this guy was like, y'all are too pretty, white men. Y'all are too pretty to be buying y'all's own drinks. Like, y'all been here for about an hour. Y'all have literally bought y'all's own drinks. He was like, I don't understand. Y'all look too pretty to be buying y'all's own drinks. Like,
Okay, so
why?
a white man bought a drink in Atlanta too. Did he buy yours too?
He sure did.
Yeah, and a white man. He bought.
Yeah.
He was
And
like,
made
I
it so
want
bad he just came up to the table and said, "What do you say? I'm gonna buy y'all's drinks. Just order what y'all want."
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's the same
And he went. He
scenario.
walked over to the bar. He paid for
No,
it.
he paid for it and just told him, have him came over there and
Right.
Or-
told him
and
put
get
it
what
on
y'all
his
want.
tab.
Right, and he
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, he didn't come back to the table. He wasn't like, "What's y'all's number?"
He didn't.
None
he
of
didn't
that.
talk to us after that.
He did not talk to us. He just purchased our drinks, and that was
And
it.
left. Yeah, I've had a white man do that to us. Like, stop and be like, y'all are too pretty. I've literally, like, we were drinking. Like, we was at a bar. And he was like, y'all have been here for an hour. I am going to give you a drink on the bar because y'all are too pretty to be buying y'all's own drinks. Like,
Ain't
why are
that
y'all
something?
buying y'all's own drinks all night? And literally, he bought us like 2 rounds and was like, y'all shouldn't be buying y'all's own drinks. Y'all are too pretty to be buying y'all's own drinks.
And that's
Like,
what
I've had
all
that
men need to
happen.
think. Like, you take all that time to get dressed, to go to the club. You liable to go buy an outfit, shoes, and all that. And
Get
then
your
you
hair
gotta
done.
Get your hair done, and you go to the club. You still buying your own
Okay, so
drinks.
what if they're buying drinks for, say, like one girl in there, and we're just not that one girl? I mean, they might be buying a drink because
that's
you can't buy
possible.
drinks for everybody.
And it's expensive. Now, don't get it wrong. I understand the concept of if I'm buying my drinks, her drinks, and maybe she got a friend with her or 2 friends with her, and I'm buying their drinks.
Exactly.
I
It
can't
is
really buy
expensive.
drinks for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's like $8 to $10 a drink.
But
Exactly.
again, like I said, I have run into like even anytime I go out of town, not Dallas, but if I go Florida, if I go Atlanta, if I go East Coast, New York, I get so much of a different response from men in that area, that space. Even Chicago, like I said, I got so much love.
When I went to
out there.
Georgia, like, you know, when I went down there for work and I went to that little bar or whatever, I didn't buy any drinks.
Yeah, I got
I
so
didn't
much
buy
love. I
any
get so
drinks.
much love
That's
from
crazy.
there, from those spaces. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so you got a game for us today?
Y'all know I have questions. I always have questions for us, you know. I always make sure to take care of us and make sure that we have questions. So,
Because my boyfriend said I had to hurry up and record and
get home.
and get over to his house. He said, you tell Mocha
Did
T.
he say that?
He said that. He said, you tell Mocha T. He cooked and everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But, you
well.
know, I missed y'all. So, you know, we talked for like 2 hours.
We did.
Yes, we did.
We were supposed to start
We
at 6
did.
o'clock, but it's okay.
It's all right.
It's
And he
all right.
cooked dinner. Oh.
He cooked dinner.
yeah.
Well, he probably shouldn't cook dinner on Sundays. Maybe he should transfer that to Saturdays.
Well, he cooked it. I was over there earlier. He was starting to cook it earlier, but then I had to leave to go get Dominique for work.
Got you.
And so I was like, I'll just come back.
Um,
Okay, what's your
That's
question?
nice.
that
It
is
was nice.
It was.
Alrighty, so this is gonna get a little sexual.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Just because I was listening, y'all know me. Like throughout my week, I kind of pull stuff from here and there and be like, let me ask them kind of questions. Let me see. So, question: you're about to have sex with a guy, and he pulls a bullet out of his drawer next to his bed. What do you do?
Okay, is it in the wrapper? Or is it...
Bullets don't come in a wrapper.
Yes, they do.
Not the ones that I purchased.
Okay, yes, they do. The ones, they do.
Not the ones that's be at Chrissy's toy box on the counter.
It depends. Okay, let me tell you. So it depends.
So is it the small one?
No,
and the
listen,
little- yeah,
if
both
they
of them
have-
come in packages.
They have the cock ring with the bullet on it.
See, I don't have never
If
used
it's
that one.
if it's a cock ring with a bullet on it, it comes in a package.
The ones I use is just the silver.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so they normally buy the counter. And
Just-
so
so
it
you don't
doesn't
know.
come in a- But for one, let me answer the question. For one, if he pulled it out of his drawer, unless we bought it together and that was our bullet, you know what I'm saying? Like if we went and literally bought this together and he tells me, hopefully we can be honest with each other, and he tells me that's who we use it for. It's the one that we purchased. But if he just pulled someone, we just about to have sex, he pulled some random bullet out no, thank you.
Right. So for me, if it's a random bullet and it's in a package, I'm
Now, if
okay
it's
with
in a
that.
package, that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
But
But
if
if
it's
it's not, I'm not. I'm like, okay, where this come from? Who else you been using this on? Why the fuck you got a bullet?
But it's okay for him to have a bullet.
Why? Where he putting it? In his ass? Like, what is he
on a
doing
woman,
with it?
I'm pretty sure it's
I
okay
would
for
hope.
him, but I'm not using it.
Yeah, I mean that's disgusting. So no,
I'm not gonna use it. Hell no. I'm
So
not
what
gonna
would you
use it.
do?
We can't use the bullet you use on somebody else on me. Like I
He
don't
said-
know, like what
okay,
unless it's in a
He
package.
said, I
or
cleaned
something.
it off. I cleaned it off. I
No,
got
we
the
ain't
sex
doing that.
toys.
Like no, I'm gonna need you to put that back because I feel like
What if it's in a package though? It's new.
what
If
if it's
it's
in
new,
a
that's
package and you
fine.
think it's new because he might have repackaged it.
Well, if I'm in the moment, I hope he wouldn't go through all that.
I mean, if he gotta
hope he
put it in the
wouldn't either.
package to put it up, he might be
Like if it's one of them,
I brought it to, I brought it to me.
plastic things. that
I brought
open
it
up
up
like
and
this.
you just
You
put
know
it
the
back in.
plastic things that kind of snap together.
Because you remember.
I think you have to rip the thing off.
No, because
I don't
some packages are easy packages. Some of them are just open the box. You
That's what I
gotta
was
pull the
gonna say.
thing out. You
But I like if
got
it's a plastic thing and you just snap it, you know, the ones that just snap together and you open it up like this.
Well, I'm with you. Like, if we didn't buy it together, but like if,
So we probably should buy toys together.
Yes.
Before
The
we start
only
using
reason why I say that is because I used to just randomly buy stuff. Like when I would be at like Spencer's, because they would have like a real good clearance sale, or Christie's, I would just stop in there.
But you can use but the toys you buy,
it's
you
on
use
you.
it.
Like I can use my toy.
So 5 men can use the same toy on you,
okay,
but
so
you can't use the same toy on
I disagree
5
with you
different
on
women.
that because even though it's my toy, I still feel weird using the same toy with multiple people.
I don't know
But
why
it's still yours.
Nah,
it's in your vagina.
It's your toy.
It's your vagina. You know what's going on with your own toy.
If I pull it out my drawer, that's totally different.
Right.
That's totally different. I don't give a fuck if I use it with it's my toy. It touches my
it depends
stuff.
on the toy. So if it's just like like a long little, I don't really would call it a bullet, but like a long little vibrator, I could see that. But if it's like a cock ring and I'm pulling out my drawer, then
cock ring is different.
It's totally different.
But we're talking a bullet.
No,
like
not
if you
just
have your
because,
own personal bullet.
No,
that you
listen,
use.
they got the bullets on the cock rings.
I
get that part, but
I'm just talking about the bullet though.
So can he use Can he pull a cock ring out of his own drawer and use it? Because it's his cock ring.
I've never used a cock ring before. No, I don't know.
So he still need a new cock ring per woman. So he needs to be buying.
Yes.
That gets expensive. So
no,
you
it doesn't. Them things are like $7 to $10. Them damn things ain't expensive.
but the cock ring just goes around his stuff, right?
Yes,
but it's still gonna touch their fluids or something.
Exactly,
maybe,
right? Exactly, and they have like a little vibrator, I mean, it's some bullshit.
You say $76. I know you say $76, but if he dating 5 different women, that's $30.
Well, you don't need to be using it with everybody.
He might have to use a cock ring to get his stuff where it needs to keep
it going.
Okay, well then I will buy it
and keep it with you,
and then we can use it.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna just do some shit out your drawer.
Okay, so then each woman probably should buy their own cock ring and bring it with them.
But what
for
you're
him.
saying is if he just pull it out his drawer, like he in the moment,
and all of a sudden
I'm gonna pull it out.
All of a sudden the music playing, the lights is off, and I heard no sir.
What is that?
No sir.
We can't do that with that.
No,
I can't do that with that.
No.
Yeah, I'm
We're not gonna use that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to use none of your toys that you use with anybody else. I don't care if it's a cock ring, a bullet.
And I don't even care if you
don't pull it out your drawer. I'll bring my if you are interested in that kind of thing, just let me know. I'll bring my own.
Exactly. Yeah, I got my own toy. We can play.
And then we can play with that and take it back. I mean, now I don't know how you may feel if like 5 different dudes play with it with me, but
that's excessive.
That's your bad. No, it's not excessive because I ain't buying a new bullet for every man, and it might be we might be a year down the road, and I don't know. It might be different dudes that they used it. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, don't
even ask about who.
Don't even ask who used it.
It's mine.
It belongs to me, and it's going in my own.
But I think that's the thing with sex anyway. You really shouldn't be asking a whole bunch of questions.
If we just having sex.
If we just having sex.
I mean, if I pull out my toy, well, how many people have you used this with?
It doesn't fucking matter. Do you want to use it or you don't want to use it? Now you done turned the whole fucking thing off. Get up, bye. Go home. Okay, what about? And I'm gonna use this by myself. Put it on the pillow right next to me. Bye. Let me walk you to the door. For real. Shit. What about that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, but it's the same thing the other way around though. Like if he pulled it out, I mean, would you just say?
I'm not gonna ask no question. I'm just gonna say no.
I'm not gonna ask like how many people used it with.
I'm not gonna say no. Yeah, that ain't my business. That's your business. But you're not gonna use it.
But what if it's dark? He pulls it out. You don't know he pulls it out. And all you feel is booze.
I would tell him like, hell no. I'd probably be pissed off by this.
How you gonna get up?
No, because he putting the condom on. He putting the condom on. He just slide. He slid this little cock ring on you like.
I'd be highly pissed.
That's all you feel?
Yes, I would be highly pissed. Like, are you fucking serious? That'd probably be my first exact words. Are you fucking serious?
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see the package.
Right.
I wouldn't even ask for no package. The thing is that you just pulled it out. Yeah, like.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, no.
That's nasty. No. Anyway. Okay, so question. Can you use the same lingerie for other men? So, or do you buy new lingerie for every guy?
I actually would buy new lingerie.
Okay, so
because lingerie don't cost
depends on
much.
the guy. It depends on the guy for me. So if it's somebody that's special to me, he has his own set of lingerie. So I've bought like my situationship. I bought lingerie specifically for him. Now, will I wear that lingerie for somebody else?
Hell yeah. Yes. So
Yes, I'm not wasting it.
Let me tell you what's weird though. I was dating somebody and they bought me some lingerie and we were over. But he was like, I really wanted to get this for you. And I said, you realize I'm going to wear this for another nigga? And he was like, okay. And so I haven't, but I still have the lingerie. But I'm going to wear the lingerie that he bought me for.
You might not want to say that.
Well, hey, I'm saying it.
I mean, she didn't wear it for him.
I didn't wear it for him, though.
I know, but your boo thing might not want to know.
He
that.
don't listen to this podcast.
Oh, okay.
So
If
that
he
being
do,
said,
you know.
This
but-
is going to be the one he listened to.
I know, right?
He'll be like, I just was listening one day.
Some told me this.
But I
Some told
mean,
me
yeah, my
this.
situationship, I bought
so-
him. I bought specific pieces specifically for him. I never wore it for anyone else. I bought them, wore them specifically for him. But if I get in another situation,
Because lingerie is expensive, and
But
especially
not,
if it's
it's
cute.
not actually not. You can go to Ross and get you something for about $10 to $12.
only
and
for
it's
that
really
night,
cute.
put it on.
Yes, but the fact of the
why
matter
not, though?
is, I mean, if I'm buying lingerie, he already special, so that lingerie is probably just gonna be for him. Because if I'm buying lingerie, I'm just not buying it for the random.
What if
fuck
you just
dude.
bought it?
Well, I'm not buying it for the random.
Okay, no, you're
Yeah.
not buying it for the random fuck dudes, but what if you just like to wear it, though? Okay, so, like, even, like, for me. Okay,
yeah.
so, when I was married, I did get rid of everything I had. Everything,
Okay.
because I was like, you know, I don't want to take
Exactly.
anything that I had in my marriage
And
into
that's
whatever
yeah.
relationship. So I did get rid of everything. But, I mean, like, certain nightgowns, I mean, what's the difference? Like, certain, like, little cute nightgowns that you might wear to bed that when you was with somebody else and you might wear with somebody. What's the difference?
Because I'm being sexy
Nightgowns
and I'm
is
probably
different.
No, if it's a sexy nightgown, though.
But
Not
I don't
lingerie, but
really
if it's
have
sexy.
sexy
I don't have sexy
nightgowns.
nightgowns.
My nightgowns is gonna be cotton. It's gonna
Right.
say, I need sleep. Thank God for Fridays.
Nap
you know, it ain't gonna be
time.
nap. You know, it ain't gonna be sexy.
But what if it's sexy, though?
I don't have one
I don't
of
know. I
those.
don't
But
buy
what if,
sexy.
though? Because, like, I have, like
Like
little,
the sexy gowns.
yeah,
If
they're
it's
like
a
the
sexy
satin,
gown,
the satin gowns or
with the
whatever.
little
That
rolls.
gowns is different. I
don't
think
know,
that's
that's
a little
different.
different.
Like
but
if-
I'm talking like teddies.
I'm
like
talking
you
about
talking
teddies,
like
like,
onesies
you know-
with that go up your booty. You know,
Yeah,
they got your
the,
titties hanging
you might
out.
got the
yeah.
things connecting from your, you know, your panties to your laundry. Yeah, that's different. You know,
Why? He don't know.
I don't know. I'm not gonna buy. I'm just saying I'm not gonna buy lingerie from a random.
I haven't
fuck
done
dude.
it in my new relationship, but
I've
I don't
actually
know.
I buy lingerie. I buy
So you
lingerie
haven't
all the
worn
time.
any lingerie?
Yes, but I purchased it.
Oh,
I
okay.
purchased new from Fredericks
Exactly.
or whatever. So, but
So
I haven't
don't-
like
yeah,
worn
I don't
anything
go to
old.
Fredericks.
Why?
I buy the cheap. Yeah.
I mean,
No, Fredericks
so-
is not expensive because they send like coupons and stuff like that.
But I go to Ross or either it's Metro Fashion or they got
Fashion
about
Nova.
$10. They cute.
Yeah.
They cute.
No.
But I just don't. Yeah, but I'm not
But
finna.
no, I've
My
ordered
thing
some
is like
stuff.
actually because if I'm wearing lingerie, that means it's probably gonna be a special night. You know, I just saying.
That's true.
You know, so I ain't really.
So I'm a you friend though, you know me. I'm on a random might answer the door in some lingerie kind of person, but that piece is specifically for that. So I don't wear lingerie for everybody. So if I'm
What-
just
that's not what
randomly
we're saying,
fucking you,
though.
that's one thing. But like I said, the latest
Randoms
piece
don't
of
get lingerie.
yeah,
They don't.
the latest piece of lingerie I've had, it's been for my situation ship. So all of the lingerie that I currently have was for
But
specifically.
what if it's
for
like
him.
really nice? It fits really well. I
It's
mean,
cute. That's why I said
it's
what's
super
going-
cute.
what's
Y'all
going-
didn't work out. I mean, shit, you done washed it.
I mean, what's going on? That's why I said what I got now.
I have never.
What I got
guess
now
I guess
is
I
going
would-
into the new.
I mean, I haven't, not yet, but I'm just saying I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to it because
I mean,
Yeah.
I've never, because 9 times out of 10, if I bought it, even with him, you know, even if it was a cute one, I've never replaced it, like, you know, and I mean, actually wore it again, like, oh, I didn't wash this, girl. This gonna be a night. Let me put this back on. If I'm doing something, like, and we doing something, I feel like I'm gonna surprise him with some shit. I
She
go
go
buy
get
a new
another
one.
piece. Yeah.
So
Well, I've also bought pieces from Victoria's Secret that aren't that aren't cheap. They're pretty expensive. I'm like Dante, so you know the new something. Unless he extra special, it's gonna get the new line. It's gonna get what I got. For right now, that being said, I don't see myself buying new because, like I said, right now I was buying for the situationship.
So when I went into my the relationship that I'm in now, I actually purchased new stuff.
You did.
It wasn't like, okay, I'm a, you know, because I mean, I was dealing with old
Exactly.
dude or whatever, and I got some stuff, but I mean, I've never worn that stuff.
You hadn't?
I haven't.
So, and you're not gonna wear it for the current?
I mean, I'm not saying I won't, but I mean, I haven't. I just,
Okay.
I mean, I actually purchased
But
some
you
stuff I
open,
wanted.
you may.
I may.
Okay.
I mean, what if I run out of this shit that I
Shit,
got
yeah.
and I'm like, well,
Exactly.
shit, this is really cute because, I mean, some of this stuff is actually really cute. I just haven't worn it.
Gotcha.
And so it's, I mean, but like going into it, I did purchase new stuff. And so it was like.
So what if he feel the same way that we feel about sex toys, about your lingerie? Can he say, look, I'm not really comfortable with you wearing this piece that
Have
you
you wore that
wore.
for somebody else?
Like, if you wore this with somebody else, do I have what if he has a problem with you wearing
Then he
stuff?
can buy me some more.
Yeah,
And
I feel like if
I
he
would-
asked me that's
Yeah.
gonna turn it all off, and he probably ain't gonna get none that night. Because I'm just saying though, if you actually take time
She
out,
turned off by any questions.
if you
Don't ask no questions.
I done came in there, I done came to your door. I got this trench coat on with just this lingerie and heels on. And I'm knocking at your door, right? And you let me in. You like, hey. And he like, you look good. And he like, so have you worn that for somebody else? That turns the whole
I'm
fucking
gonna
mood
put
off.
Put your heels on and go back home.
I'm finna,
You know what?
I'm finna get up. Listen, I'm glad you asked that before everything. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Right.
Because why would you ask somebody some shit like that?
Right.
I'm with you
That's
on
just
that.
out of line.
Yeah.
Because why is your mind even there? You supposed to be focused on me,
Nigga,
not
you should be
wondering.
And
saying
this
I look
piece
good.
that I
Yeah.
got on.
You should be worried about taking the motherfucker off. What
Right.
about that?
Not worried about if I wore it for
How
somebody
long?
else.
And who else I wore it for? I'm gonna need you just to get the motherfucker off.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna turn me off, and I'm gonna be ready to go because that's just a total turn off. Like,
Like,
did you wear that? I mean, did you wear that for him? Bitch, I'm
like,
gone.
where did your how did that go? Like, how did your mind go there?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, shit, nigga, the underwear that you wearing, you wore it for her, too.
Hell yeah, you
Right.
have. And her. Motherfucker, them drawers is old. Shit, you ain't just wore them drawers for me, motherfucker. You ain't got that many. I've been in your drawers drawer. Motherfucker, you done wore them for a lot of us. Like, bitch, I'm not asking you that. Like,
a lot of us been on them.
Okay.
You done wore them drawers, that mattress that had a lot of us on it.
a lot of us on it. Like, don't do that. Like,
So what's the difference? Like, for real.
So
Like,
should you
You
still,
sending dick pics in this underwear that you didn't wear for her?
yeah,
listen, these your favorite drawers?
these your favorite drawers.
So when she showed me that big pic, I'm like, yeah, that's him. 'Cause
That's
I got-
him. I know them Calvin Kleins. I know them Calvin Kleins.
I know them drawers. I know them.
Yeah.
I know them.
You sure ain't lying, girl. You
Right.
sure ain't lying.
Okay,
That's
so
funny.
last question. What do you do when a guy comes too fast? Do you get mad, try to get it back up, or go to sleep?
I'm going to try to get it back up.
Mika?
All three, probably. At some point, it might be all three. But the go to sleep part might not happen sometime. Because if he's just a fuck partner, I ain't going to sleep at his fucking house. I'm pissed off. And I didn't try to get it back up. And if he ain't got it there, then I'm going home.
So what if this was just, okay, so is there a difference between he comes fast the first time, or y'all have been dealing with each other for a while, and so in this session he comes fast? Is there a difference?
That's definitely a difference. Because we wouldn't deal each other for a while if he was coming fast.
All the
at
time.
all the time. So if he's coming fast all the time, we wouldn't even be to this point where I would have to worry about going to sleep or anything.
But if I messed with somebody for the first time and they came fast, I mean,
I would try to get it back up.
the shit was just good. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
and he
'cause that's
came
what
fast.
So
My
you not take it
mindset-
as a compliment? I feel like
It's
I'm
a
gonna take it as a
compliment.
compliment. Yeah,
The
I'ma take
shit
it
was
as a
just good.
But if he can't get it back up,
what
Well-
if he can't get it back up?
and then you go to sleep. Let's just say that.
Well, how
Like, he
long
can't
does
get-
it take? Because every dude is different, though.
Every dude is different. Let's say he can't get it back up.
He
at
might
that
need
point.
15
Y'all
minutes.
kind of doze off and you get back up, and it's just like still he come again quick. Then yeah, we gonna leave this alone. Thank you.
You can't keep coming quick.
Yeah.
Like on
You
that
still gonna
comment?
say thank you?
Thank you.
you.
I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna holler at you later. Okay.
No, you ain't gonna thank you. I'm gonna just be
Yeah.
like, I'll catch you up
But
with
if
you
it was
later.
good, but he came fast.
Now, there are some men who have good sex who don't know how to last for a while.
And ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
You getting with it, and as soon as you start getting with it, he like about
and
to.
you ain't even got yours
You
yet.
ain't got yours
But he
yet,
can't
but
control it though.
he can't. I start taking it as a compliment, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like.
But I stop him.
Hey, let me hold on to you.
Yeah,
real
hold
quick.
on.
Hold
You
on.
got it. Don't move.
Don't move.
Don't do that.
I need you to regroup.
Get your mind together.
Think of something else.
Yeah.
Here, flowers, butterflies.
Because I'm with you. But we gotta be about 5 more minutes.
Right.
To get it together.
Right.
Especially if like you close to coming.
Because I'll be close.
If
and
you
then
so
all of a sudden,
close,
you be
right.
like,
You like,
and
I
he
need you to
going.
wait.
Yeah.
Bitch.
If I need you to wait just a little bit longer. Can you hang
Nigga,
on?
all
just
I
a
need
little
is
bit
about
longer?
5 more minutes.
So this day when you start playing with the clit yourself, like, okay, wait, let me hold on, let me stop and play with myself a little bit so I can get there a little quicker.
And
Sometimes I
most
might
of
be
the
already
time,
almost there. Though.
I might be almost there because I probably got
Yeah.
him to going like,
Right.
got my legs around him and all that, And then all of a sudden he finna be like, hold on, and don't move. Nobody moves.
Nobody moves.
Nobody.
I hate that.
Yeah, nobody moves.
I absolutely hate the nobody move space.
Because then you like
Because you like, okay,
Yeah.
how much longer do
Your
I have
shit
to
gotta
sit here?
regroup.
Because this is
Gotta
the problem.
regroup.
Because if you sit here too long, I'm going to lose where I was at.
Yeah.
But even if you do though, I'm still about to try to work.
Because even if
And still get it
a
out
woman
of-
can't really
get it out of
never
me.
really lose unless he just turns you off altogether.
No, she ain't going to lose it, but it may. But
You
if we
can.
sit there too long.
If we sit there too long, I probably ain't to that point where I was finna bust it.
Bust it right there. Because I was about to bust it.
Yeah, bust it.
And you talking about coming.
But
so
if you bust though, and I'm close, I'm still about to try to get it.
Oh, I am.
Oh, girl, yeah.
Even
I'm
if it's
around
off,
the shit. Right.
Even if it's soft, I'm still about to grind on that thing.
I'm going to ride that shit out.
I'm gonna ride it out. I'm
Ride
gonna
it out.
grind. We grinding it out. Yeah.
On that soft dick.
On that, yeah.
That's
So
how
we
it's gonna work. So, today's topic was... So the conversation... Hold on, wait.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Today's topic.
So we're talking about toxic baby mamas and absent baby daddies.
Which one is worse?
Which one is worse? A toxic baby mama or an absent baby daddy?
Exactly.
So, which one do you think is worse?
I think
Are they equal?
I think they may be kind of run hand in hand. Because a toxic baby mama is horrible because that's all they got to watch. I mean, who else do they got as far as a role model?
Right.
Especially if it's a little girl and it's a woman.
I think if it's a little girl or a little boy, because if you grow up in a house with a bitter mama, I think any child, male or female, that grows up in a house with a bitter mother,
That's true.
that's hard. And then an absent father.
So you ain't got no role model.
You don't have no role model.
whatsoever.
You don't have nobody that steps in and tells you, that gives you the self-esteem portion of it. But I say that with that being said, because what if you have an absent father, but your mother's not toxic? You have a really loving mother.
Exactly.
So can a loving mother make up for an absent father? Or can so if you have a toxic mother with an absent father, that's probably
Horrible.
really horrible.
Yes.
But if you have a mother who is very loving, who's very supportive, who gives you everything you need, and you have an absent father, can the absent mother, or can the loving mother, not that she can play the role of dad, but can the absent, is it worse? I think sometimes it may not be as bad.
I don't think so. Because, we all mamas that's raising our kids alone. And, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like our kids is just out there doing the most. You know what I'm saying? So I think, just speaking on my own, since both of my kids' daddy ain't there, long as I don't think if I was out there doing the most, then that probably would be like, oh my, people gonna look for my kids to have a DOC number. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But if you doing everything possible in your will to take care of these kids, and you ain't out there, you taking them, trying to get them, you got them in church, you got them doing this, you got them doing that, you telling them all the right things. Of course, I can never tell them as far as teach my daughter how a man's supposed to I can teach her how a man's supposed to treat a woman, But you know what I'm saying? Until she actually seen like how her daddy treated me, I think that has a lot to do with it also. But like, and I can't teach my son how to be a man. I mean, you know, I can tell him all the right things to do at the end of the day, but I think
there's a difference.
There's a difference.
So, okay, so the question was, because I stepped away. So is it, what's worse, a toxic mother or
An absent father.
Okay, but what you're describing is not a toxic mother.
What we're saying
we're saying that
if you have a toxic mother, an absent father, we said that that's probably horrible. But if you have an absent father, but a loving mother...
Oh, that's different.
Which one? So...
Oh, well, we know which one is better. It's the loving mother.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you have an absent father... So we're saying, is the issue more of a toxic mother? Can a toxic mother be worse than an absent father? I think that depends on the mother. Because if the mother is a loving mother... You can have an absent father,
exactly,
and your children still be just fine, and you still be a loving and caring and giving and nurturing mother. You can't substitute what they are for their dad
too, because I mean, there's men out here raising kids,
absolutely,
and then the mother is toxic. You know what I'm saying?
So tell me, like, what is your definition of a toxic mother, and what's your definition of a toxic mother?
So, toxic mother being like someone who is bitter, who's always acting a fool with the daddy, who is always telling her kids, your daddy ain't shit, your daddy ain't shit, I don't give a fuck, like, who has literally no mental health, like, is not taking care of, I mean, maybe she's taking care of her kids, but, you know, she doing bare minimum for her kids, she just really isn't an active parent in her kid's life, and everything is, your daddy ain't shit.
Okay.
Or just not being there. Like a toxic mother to me could be the fact where I wasn't raised with mine. She was very toxic, and I couldn't have seen myself being in the household with my, with my mother, because you know what I'm saying. She wasn't nobody that was gonna be a role model to me in the future. She wasn't, she was toxic altogether. I mean, she was in the streets. It can be a mama that's partying all the time that think it ain't too much. I'm just going out on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? Or she could be, somebody that drink. She think because she drink wine on a day-to-day basis that ain't toxic. She can be down in the daddy. You know what I'm saying? I that's one thing I just don't agree with altogether.
Right.
But, a toxic mom could be a few things.
So that's my thing. Is like, when I think of like an absentee father, of course, it's just the father that's not there. But when I think of a toxic mother, it's just like a mother who does not have their kid in a good environment at all. And it could be, a person on drugs and you having dudes running in and out your house. Or it could be a mother that's never there. Or you just don't prioritize your kids and you just, you have a bunch of men. That's what I think of like a toxic mother. And as far as to say like which is worse, I think to me will be the toxic mother. Because you're exposing your kids to all this stuff that's not okay. To me. Right. And to me, like, I get that your father wasn't there and you may deal with, did he love me? I don't know if he loved me, care about me. You dealing with that. But then when you have, like, a toxic mother and you having, like, all these men in, or you a drunk, or you on drugs, that's a whole new battle that they got to deal with when they get older.
Right. Whereas if you have an absent father, but a loving mother, I think that loving mother, not that she can replace that father, but I think that loving mother can give you way more.
Yes.
And even though you have that absent father and you question like where he was or what, whether or not he loved you or whether or not he cared, I think it's not as impactful when you eventually find out what the story was or whatever it was as an adult. I think that you can still live and be a productive adult.
Yeah,
under a absent father versus.
And I say that was my own life because even though my father was kind of in my life, he was still absent for the most part. But at the end of the day, I had a loving mother, and that's what kept me because even though he wasn't in my life, she was loving, and even though she didn't have a lot, I still knew she loved us and she did the best that she could. And that made me want to do better and be better, overall as a person. So I think definitely the loving mother, even if whether they have a lot or not, is way better than the absent father.
Probably.
To me.
Right. I deal with both. I had the toxic mother and the absent father.
I didn't know that your father was really absent, though, because I thought that
because my grandmother, my daddy's mom, raised me.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
I
what
remember.
you think?
Well, I just remember meeting your dad when I was younger, and so I think that when I met him when I was younger, I felt that
he was around, like,
but
don't
he was
get it
still
twisted.
absent.
But he's never been involved in anything that we've done. So, like, he's always been there. Like, if we call him, he's going to come. You know what I'm saying? But he's never, like, no, like, stuff like I would be in, like, you know, my activities, my extra, come to see me cheer at a game or dance somewhere. No, he ain't never.
So that goes back to, like, this is kind of, like, off topic, but I've heard people say, oh, you should have kids with your husband. Your mom had kids with her husband.
She did.
And her husband was an absentee father. So it goes, to me, just because you have kids with your husband don't mean that your husband going to be there.
But that's because both of them, I think he would have been there, because if my mom and dad probably would have been clean and not on drugs, they probably both would have been amazing parents. They would have probably, you know, did some amazing things together. But the fact of the matter is, because my dad now, you know what I'm saying, they both, you know, straight, narrow, you know, on the straight and narrow, but the fact is that then them together was toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So their relationship was toxic.
Exactly.
So that's that conversation we have about being married. Like, when everybody thinks that marriage is the end all, save your life, and everybody should be married.
Exactly.
And then you have these relationships that are examples of they were married, but they were toxic for each other, and they shouldn't have been married to each other, because being married to each other wasn't a good thing for them, and didn't create a good environment for their kids.
Exactly. So I think that's a big thing that people think, just because, I mean, just don't get married just because. Because I don't think that really has nothing to do. Please don't, you know, marry people just because y'all got kids. Because that's a big thing, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing where people think so. Like, that's why my daughter's with an absentee father today. Shit. I mean, you just think.
But she has a strong mother, though.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, she's still, you know, and I think, you know, she's still going to need her dad at some level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think all little girls, little boys too, but I think, like, dads have a big thing on little girls as far as to teach, you know, to show them what kind of man that they need to be with in the future or all that. And everything he say may over the phone, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You could tell her 10,000 things that's going to be right over the phone, but you actually being there and being active and being there to tell her, you know, it's totally different. Like, being an absent father actually probably turned a lot of little girls to where they don't need to be.
Right.
Being an absent father.
Well,
or little boys.
I think it's the matter of the idea of the fact that you don't really have the example of what a man should be.
Exactly.
You know, I had two dads. You know, I had my biological father, who wasn't there, who was never there. He didn't come till I was about 16, 17. And then I had my dad, who was my stepdad, but who still wasn't really an example of what a dad should be. Like, so, you know, even though I had those in my life, I still never had anyone who stopped and said, this is what a man should do. This is how a man should treat you. This is how a man should be. And so I still had to kind of create that in my own space of what it was for me, you know, exactly. And it still took me years. I mean, like, I'm 36 years old, still trying to figure out, like, what that's supposed to look like for me. You know, what do I want that to look like? And I think that it gives you a head start, even if it doesn't give you the exact, plan and written plan of what your man should be. I think it gives you a head start of, like, maybe even what you want or don't want, you know?
Exactly.
Because I'm big on that with my baby girl. Like, I always tell her, like, you know, even if your dad isn't there 100%, it's, to me, important for him to be present at some point in her life, for her to be able to say, that's not what either that's what I want or that's what I don't want.
Exactly.
You know, and I think sometimes we never even really vocalize or have that conversation out loud about, like, even if he's not there all the time,
he's still present.
He's still present, and you still know who he is. And the fact that you know who he is and what he is helps you not to be searching for something that makes you feel like you were missing something. And I grew up feeling like I was missing something, like I was missing. And so I was always looking for, like, what is this supposed to look like? And I remember through my teens, like, even dating, like, I just never even had anybody that stopped and said, I don't really like him. You know, yeah. I don't think he's a good fit for you. I never really got that. I always just kind of got my mom.
Well, I was fortunate because I grew up with my 3 older brothers. And so I was fortunate because I actually seen how they treated women. They treated women like shit, to be honest. And so just seeing that, it was like, I don't want this. But I mean, as far as, like, having that father there and like, you know, like the love that you need from your father. I didn't have that either. And I think
the daddies that come to the door and meet the man and be like, you know, Yeah, see, now I didn't get that.
And I think that if we would have, maybe we would have made better decisions as far as like who we had kids by.
That's true. No, that's definitely true.
You know? I mean, and I think even if you're not the father, but a father figure, somebody who just says, look, even if it's your uncle, your grandpa, somebody who stops and says, I have this expectation for you. Because I feel like my expectation of men changed as I became an adult, but my grandpa started giving us expectations of what kind of men we were supposed to bring to him.
But that should have been a conversation a long time ago.
It should have been.
Not at the age of 36.
Well, it wasn't like 36. I would have to say it was after Legend.
Well,
but I mean, but I was 30. You know what I'm saying?
Still in your 30s.
At that point, you know, you start saying, my question to me you bring, but no one ever really stopped and said, before we get to this point.
Exactly.
That conversation should be had with any girl. It should be had like when you're about 15, 16, when you
and before then.
Or maybe before then when you start
12,
dating.
11, 12.
Yeah, when you start dating, this is the type of man that you need to be thinking about or you need to bring to me. Not after you've made mistakes and you've had kids and like, okay, this is the kind of man. Like, I'm in my 30s now. And I mean, I know that now because I've learned that just by dealing with the men that I've been dealing with.
Right. And so I think that was the thing. Like, the expectation was set so far down the road. And I think for him, it was just a matter of, like, by the time I was 30, Kayla would have been, we're talking 8 years behind me. I mean, none of us were married at that point. And so he was kind of like, what did I do wrong? Like, even, you know, with my cousins, he still stopped and was like, okay, I must have did something wrong. Because at this point, I got these grown-ass granddaughters who aren't married. Like, and to him, like, I mean, in their generation, marriage is like the ultimate achievement or ultimate goal. And you got 2 granddaughters with kids. And at this point, you got 2 granddaughters with multiple kids, with multiple baby daddies. Who at this point, you're like, okay. So where did I go wrong? Exactly. Like, I feel like I did something wrong at this point. Like, none of y'all have been married. And even still, 2 of us are married, but, you know, you question one of them because she's been married twice now. You know, so it's even still that space of what did I do that I didn't, like, I didn't set the expectation for you guys. You know, and I talked to my sister about that. Like, I don't know that we were given an expectation. You know, she just always has been a little bit more anal in, like, her spaces. But she still even made mistakes in men. It just didn't pay. Like, she just didn't have kids with them.
Well,
like,
and sometimes the benefit about being younger is you learn from your older siblings, too.
Well, I mean, she still made the same mistakes. Don't get it wrong. She made some of the same mistakes. The only difference is, like, you know, God's grace covered her. God would have to say that. It wasn't that she didn't have the opportunity to be in the same spaces with us. It's God's grace was just like, not you, not today.
Exactly.
You know, and so then she got a second chance in this space. But she was still making, I mean, some of her selections weren't good, you know. She just got second chances to be able to be like, okay, I don't want to do that. That was not a good space for me to be in. And so let me make a different choice. But, you know, we really never even got that example. Like, I think that that's important for girls to have is that example. But I also believe that it's very important for boys to be able to have an example of what a man is supposed to be.
Yeah. So we're talking about the whole absentee fathers, toxic mothers. So I was on Facebook and somebody made a post about not being in their kids' life because of the mama is so difficult. And I made a comment because the comment kind of pissed me off because I feel like that's a cop-out. Like, yes, I get that some mamas are difficult, but that's no reason for you to be a deadbeat father because the mama is difficult. So I said, well, that's what the court system is for. Because it is. And then he commented something like, you know, kind of talking shit. And I left it alone. But to me, that's an excuse. Yeah, some women are toxic and they're going to put that stuff in your kid's head. But at the same time, that's what the court system is for. And if you really want to be in your kid's life, you can go fight for joint custody. And that's what I said. You don't have to pay her child support if you don't want to. You can go get joint custody and take care of your kids.
Or even the fact if you do have to pay child support, the fact of the matter is, how much do you really want to be in your kid's life? Like, I'm not going to fight you about being in your kid's life, but if we got to go to the court system to get it some type of situation, if me and you can't see eye to eye, and me and you can't come to some type of agreement, then hey, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and go to this court, and we got it on paper. You get him this day, this weekend, and that's what it is. I can't argue with you the fact. I'm not going to say, nigga, nah, you can't. Because at that point, ain't no argument.
Right.
Now,
And the crazy part about that is visitation when it comes to men and they don't understand how much power they have. Because there's nothing I can do if you choose not to visit your kid. But there is a lot you can do if I choose to hold your kid from you.
You will be in contempt.
I will be held in contempt.
Exactly.
He's not held in contempt if he don't show up for his
Exactly.
visit. I'm held in contempt if I don't allow you to see your kid.
And that was my point exactly. Like, if you really want to be in your kid's life, even though, like, I feel like a lot of men have excuses. If you really want to be in your kid's life, take her to court. And, get a visitation, like, get visitation rights. And if she won't let you see your kid, you tell the judge, and the judge will deal with that. But to me, men who'll be like, oh, the baby mama tripping.
But that's always a man's, I'm not going to say all men's excuse, because I'm not going to say
But I know some good fathers.
But I'm going to say that it's always an excuse. Even with good men, it is. Because that baby mama bitter about you being with somebody else, or that baby mama bitter about this or that, whatever. She might be bitter about the wind blow left. And she like, hey.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? No, little Tina ain't coming to stay with you tonight because so-and-so seen you with so-and-so. Baby mamas do that shit. Which, still, I tell, I don't care, cousins, brothers, or whatever, take their ass to court. Take their ass to court.
I agree with that.
Well, but then you have the other flip side where you have, I think, some men who take women to court specifically to prove a point. Because look at my situation.
Oh, yeah, I got to court just to prove a point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to prove some point to some other woman. You took me to court, and you don't even exercise your visitation rights.
Exactly.
It's not even that I don't want you to, but I have to stop and ask you when you going to do a visit. I have to stop and say, hey, we got this break coming up. Do you want your son? I have to stop and say, like, I was telling Dante this week, I look on Facebook and they got a whole family picture without him included. And it's not like I'm the kind of person that would tell you, no, you can't include him.
Exactly.
You just decide that this is a part of your life that you choose not to include him in. And that has absolutely nothing to do with me, but you put me out there like I'm somebody who's keeping you from your kid. And so to ease your situation, to make your situation, your next situation better, instead of saying, look, no, she has a reason to be mad at me because I wasn't there.
Exactly.
I haven't been a good father to my son, and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And so instead of owning your shit, you decided you was going to pawn it all off on me. You was going to take me to court to waste money. Because that's basically what we did.
But it's easier for men to point the finger, though.
Right.
Oh, it definitely is.
And to be like, oh, she tripping, she this, she that, when that's really not even the case.
But even if I was tripping,
in some it is.
I was tripping because I had a reason to trip.
And the thing is, you might have been tripping, but I've never tripped. And I still got taken to court. I've never, ever, since he been in this world on this, never have told this man that he can't see my son. He can't do, be in his life, that he can't even, we didn't even invited him with me and my husband to invited him on birthday dinners to come with us. We ain't never excluded him. But he decided once I was going to get married that he was going to take me to court to get custody of, you ain't never been involved. My thing is, if you're going to be involved, just be involved. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not finna get my son, just to be on some old bullshit ass custody. But, because you ain't never been there. Like, you going to go to court and say, what? Like, we can go to court and that's fine, but we wasting money and this little $3,000-$4,000 I didn't have to pay for this lawyer. That could have been going to the household. Now, and then you don't even exercise your rights after we done it, is a thing. Like, he did it for the first year, and I think that's just because he knew he could have been in contempt and I could have sent his ass to jail, but he knew that I would never do it. Now, for the last about 3 years, he don't even exercise. He don't pay child support. He don't do. So what was the point?
So I have a question. So in the process, did you become a toxic mother? As far as like talking about like your daddy ain't shit, your daddy this, your daddy that.
I've never been that type of mom.
Okay, what about you?
Even me, like even in our situation, I would never put him out there like that to his son because because my son, despite all and everything, lifts his dad to a pedestal, even with his dad not being there on a regular basis, even when he misses calls from his dad, even when he does not look at his dad as anything less than the man that his dad, to him, he's created in his mind for his dad to be. And I feel like for him,
it is.
that's what he should be.
At some level. Because at a young age, I used to think it was okay for my son to think that same thing at some level. But once they get older, once he started getting, we was going through that custody battle, I'm like, now he getting older and he turning into this preteen and this teenager, and he needs to know what a real man is. You can't glorify a man that ain't never did shit for you. You know, no, do I say something like, you know what I'm saying? Well, I asked, was he coming to your game? Well, why not? You know what I'm saying? You know, I get to asking him questions. He gotta start to think at some point, like, damn, well, shit, he ain't never been to my games. Well, that's kind of funny. He ain't never did. Because you cover up them calls, like, well, your daddy said he was going to come get you, but I don't know why he ain't show. Just go in there, baby, and take your bath, go to bed, and, you know, you cover up for them daddies a lot. I didn't cover up for them daddies.
Well, yeah, at the beginning, but I think, like, once they get a certain age, like my child, for example, you know, you call your daddy and you ask him. And if he keep telling you, no, I can't do it, I'm busy, I'm this, I'm that, eventually she formed her own opinion of him. She didn't need me to tell her, like, oh, well, you know, he's not there, whatever.
But once she got older.
Exactly. But I was never that parent to be like that, because I felt like because I was that same kid. Even though I saw my dad once a year, to me, he was still like a good daddy to me.
Exactly.
I mean, I saw him once a year and he paid he gave Mom $100 for Christmas, and that was it. But it was still like he's doing something. But then when I got older, I started realizing, well, damn, like, really, she's the person that been holding me down and having my back.
Because what's the fuck is 100?
Exactly. But I think that's the same thing with my own kids. I think that, you know, eventually a kid will see, you know.
Oh, they will.
I mean, you don't need to put that in their head.
And I don't, like, as with the older child, I do the same thing.
But some parents do that though. Like some women, your daddy ain't shit. You ain't gonna be shit.
That.
That's
I
real.
got family members that do that shit, and I cannot stand that shit. I'm like, let them form their own opinion
about.
Yeah. You ain't gotta put it ain't mine. They daddy ain't shit. They gonna know that once they get older. But they form their own decisions.
But I think they'll start resenting their mama for being that way too, because I mean, you acting bitter, you hateful, and you all this stuff towards my dad, and I think eventually they're gonna start resenting you to some level, because they're gonna think that it's you. It's your fault. The way you acting right now is why my daddy ain't here.
Right.
But if you cool, calm, and collective, you ain't gave this man no reason to like not.
Now, I have
made
some comments. I'm like, son, you know, if you get drafted, you know, you sign on senior day. Well, we done had this conversation, son. I'm just questioning. So you go up there and they sign you on senior day, you get a scholarship. I'm just wondering, like, do you think that your dad...
Her work voice.
Yeah. Do you think that your dad should sit right beside me, like, on that stage and with the hat on, and we like, whoop, whoop, what college is he going to choose? Because I definitely don't think your dad should be there. Your dad has never seen you play football. He's never even been involved in nothing in that sort. So I think your dad should be sitting in front of the stage like, whoop, whoop, my son. He shouldn't be able to be on that stage with me.
I agree. So my daughter, she asked me today, she said, do you think my daddy would be mad if he didn't rope me? If he didn't, I guess, put the ropes or whatever on her. And I said, he has no reason to be mad because he hasn't been there. She said, that's what I thought. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I feel the same exact way. I mean, I mean, my daughter's old enough now at this point that I feel like, you know, some conversations are realistic conversations. You know,
exactly.
Reality. You want $115 hairstyles, baby. We don't get paid monthly for anything that you want. So I need you not to be ungrateful. Just recognize that, you know, I get it. You know, call and ask them for what they want. You know, she had a situation where she contacted them and asked them for some money, and they dogged her out. And all I said was, baby, I didn't tell you to call them because you recognize. Now, so you know that feeling you having right now? I bet from now on, you'll put your own aside and you'll do with your own what you need to do with your own, so you don't have to call them and feel that way.
And I think I didn't start having those conversations. Like, I let him start bringing those conversations to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd come in my room and he'd sit on my bed, and he would actually, like, it was different, you know, but he probably didn't start doing it till last year. Like, he'd be like, you know what? I just decided, you know what? My daddy ain't never been there to do nothing, you know, see me play or come to my games and all that. And I let him talk about it. I'm like, you right. He was like, he ain't never been involved in my life. You know what I'm saying? He was like, but he'll go to them other kids that ain't even his kids' games. Or he'll go and he'll say that, and I'll be like, you know, so how you... Yeah. And I'll be like, so how you feel about that? He'd be like, I don't even care no more. But the fact, you know, he's like, but I just don't even call him and really even deal with it no more. And I'll be like, that's up to you. You know, what you and him got going on is totally up to you. you know, he was like, even on his championship games, girl, he was calling, you know, this past football season, he was calling them, and he never came. He never came to these games. So I was like, you know, his championship, like, you don't know how good he is, like,
That's
you know what I'm saying? So he sent him his huddle, which is like, you know, where they do all their highlights.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like a huddle video, because they always capture, like, you know, the different highlights. So he sent it to him, and he was like, and he just came and said to him, you know, he'll sit down and talk to me for a minute. He sit down, and he like, Mama, I sent him my huddle videos, you know, he was like, and he sent me like this long text message back, you know, and said that tears came to his eyes and this and this and that. I was like, that's something. I said, tears should have came to his eyes because he never got to experience the fact that sitting at. So, girl, when I talked to his daddy, you know, he telling me, you know, my son sent me, you know, the videos. And so I went ahead and told him, you know, my son might not want to tell him, but I'm like, you know, what tears should have came to your eyes was for because you never got to experience seeing your son doing none of this. Like, I'm not even his daddy, but I was that one sitting in the heat from Little League. You know what I'm saying? Sitting there, and it'd be 105, and I'm sitting there every 5 days a week. When he broke his leg, me and my husband was sitting on that hospital bed spending the night. Just me and him, not you. You know, all these little games and stuff like that. And even when you get in middle school, what is a fucking game on a Friday? And you can't take an hour and a half on a Friday?
But that's the thing, though. Like, I don't get that about men who spend more time with their girlfriends' kids than they do their own kids.
Exactly.
I don't get that.
I feel like it's the level of... I feel like some men treat their children according to the relationships that they have with their mothers.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're bitter about the relationship they have with you, so then they treat your kid according to how they feel about you.
But let mine tell it, oh, like before I got married, we was the best of friends. Like he used to send me text messages on Mother's Day, on holidays. Until I got married, I used to get all you the best mother, you this and that. I ain't never had to worry about. So it just depends. I think some men just sorry. Shit, let's keep it real. Some men is just fucking, they ain't been taught how to be a daddy because they had absentee fathers.
But that's what I don't get, though. Like, even though you didn't have a father in your life, that should make you want to be the best father that you can.
But they don't know how.
No, it doesn't.
But
That's not an excuse to me.
Some of them are fathers to other people.
None of us have been parents. None of us. We had to learn. Parenting does not come with a handbook. We had to learn it. So there's no excuse for you. Just because your daddy wasn't in your life, there's no excuse for you not to be a father to see your kids.
Because daddy wasn't in our life.
That's true.
And your mama wasn't in yours.
Exactly.
But you a damn good mama.
That gives them every reason to. That's just an excuse.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? That's just an excuse that they use. But then you get some of these daddies that didn't have their daddies in their mouth that be excellent fathers because they don't want to turn out their kids to. You basically don't want your kids, like my brother, for example. My daddy wasn't really in our life, but you know what I'm saying? My brother is an amazing father.
Right. Because
he always says, you know, I'll never be
what he was.
But that's kind of like, even like the whole, like, people who grow up in the hood. Some people, like, stay in the hood. Exactly. That's their environment. Some people get out the hood and they want better for themselves. So it's the same thing. People who grow up with daddies and who don't. Like, it's really the same thing, you know. But I've heard dudes that say, like, you know, my homeboy was like, oh, well, I didn't have a daddy in my life. You know, they're not involved in their kid's life. And he like, why are you not involved in your kid's life? Well, I didn't have a daddy in my life, so my kids turned out good. But my kids turned out good. That's bullshit to me.
Well, I feel like it's bullshit to be somebody's friend. Continue to be somebody's friend and not call them out on the shit when you see that they ain't a daddy.
Because if y'all was some sorry ass mamas and y'all never had y'all kids,
I wouldn't fuck with you.
I wouldn't even talk to y'all because we don't even have nothing in common.
Say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something.
If I feel like you my friend,
but it's some sorry ass mamas out there too. We talking about daddies, but it's sorry ass.
I mean,
mamas
I have literally so I have had people that, and when I realized that you really wasn't a good mom, like you really wasn't handling your shit, like I tried to help you, I tried to do something for you, like I had friends like that, like I didn't really know your situation before, we worked together, we was cool, and then we became friends, you know, and then you moved into my house and I realized you wasn't on your shit. I'm gonna call you out on your shit, but I ain't gonna keep fucking with you. Like after a point, there's gonna be a time when I'm gonna cut you off because I'm doing my shit. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm going to work every day. I'm providing for my kids. I'm doing what needs to be done for my kids. I ain't chasing after no nigga every day. So you can't be around here chasing after niggas every day,
You know what I mean?
not taking care of your business
And letting your baby
and letting your babies
raise
no,
their kids.
you got your kids, but your kids stuck on the other side of town, and you don't know how you gonna get your kids
or that, like your
No,
baby daddy.
because I know a few that let their baby daddy raise their kids, and I just don't be cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, you can actually literally be free to do any motherfucking thing and let your baby daddy raise your kids. Like, where the fuck do they? And people always used to say that shit when that's where people come off like. When I was going through that, the custody battle with my baby daddy, people kept saying, he a boy. He 12.
He need to be
a
with his
boy.
daddy.
Why is you opposed to him being with his daddy? Don't you think it's his daddy's time to raise him? He can teach him how to be a man. Hell fucking not. His daddy ain't no man. How the fuck he gonna teach him how to be a man?
Well, it ain't even just that
So
for me.
no. But my thing was, like, his daddy ain't. What is he gonna teach him that he ain't been trying to teach him? So all of a sudden, I'm the one that's been nurturing. I'm the one that's been, when he gets sick, I'm the one that's doing. I'm the one that's going to the school, and then his daddy ain't doing shit. But all of a sudden, now he want to be a daddy. Like, stop bringing that to me. Don't bring shit to me where it's my kid. I didn't get. Why should I have to suffer?
Well, for me, no, I understand, but for me, like, if that was my situation, I've heard people say that, oh, when a boy get a certain age, they need to go be with their daddy, but at the same time, I love my kids, and I want my kids here. So if he want to share joint custody with me, we could do that.
That is all.
But I'm not for letting my kid go just live with his daddy while I just
be done.
And I be the part-time mom. I just stop by every once in a while.
Right, or they come on weekends.
No,
I'm not okay with, you know, I'm
yeah.
not opposed to allowing my son's dad to step in, or my daughter's dad to step in and be half of a father, whatever we need to do in that space. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not gonna stop my obligation of being a parent to my kids simply because they dad stepped up and decided to.
You can
because you
co-parent.
say that you want, and we got 50-50. You know what I'm saying? We actually got joint custody. But my thing is, you know, and I kept on telling the judge, you know, I don't have a problem. I've never had a problem. You can ask this man. I've never had a problem with this man even having his son whenever he liked having his son. I've never stopped that. So they knew that. But what I won't do when it comes to joint custody, what I didn't agree with was a whole week on, week off thing. I wasn't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he got different rules and I got different rules. And then so we still had joint custody, but he did every Wednesday and every other weekend, which was fine with me. You know, I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, every Wednesday, every other weekend, that's what's up. You know, it still equaled out to be the same, but it just wasn't week on, week off. But, you know, I was like, that's cool. You know, I don't have no problem with that. He can have them just as much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just got two different type of rules. We got two different, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to be his home girl. You know, I'm still going to be that mama. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do at your house, that's the whole thing. Like, if we can't co-parent and we ain't got the same rules and same outlook on life, we wasn't going to make it anyway. Me and him didn't. Like, he is totally different. He going to let him do what the fuck he want to do. And I'm not.
Right.
I'm just not.
But then, too, it's not even just about, like, the whole week on, week off. Like, you inconveniencing the kid, too. Because they have to pack up their stuff and take it over to their daddy's house.
But not necessarily. Hopefully you got clothes there.
I mean, yeah, but what if it's something that you want to wear or something that you really like?
Well,
I mean,
think
it's still the whole packing back and forth, though.
Two different routines. Like, if we're not even on the same, like, that's the other part that I've had, the issue I had with my daughter, is that my priority for education and my priority for getting your shit done and going to college and making sure your grades is done and making sure that you on top of shit is just different from where his priority is. He don't got that priority.
Right.
You can live over at somebody else's house for a week, whereas I'm over here saying, no, we need to, you got to get ready for college. You need to be making sure your grades look like this. We doing this for ACT. We doing this for college tour. And he don't have them same kind of priorities. That's not a priority for him. So over there, you're going to be a Section 8 chick with food stamps living pillar to post because you over at such and such house and he ain't even seen you all week. Like, that's an issue for me.
So I have a question for y'all. So because we all kind of have baby daddies who are not like really that involved. I mean, we do. That's true. If they listen, whatever. Because mine lives 10 minutes down the street. My daughter been having red hair for I don't know how long. He still ain't seen it.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. That's just how it works. But anyway, so would you feel like an absentee father would be better or just a sorry father that really, because they really is sorry to me, a sorry father kind of breaks your kids' hearts. The whole time that
I think they go hand in hand. Really? I mean, an absentee is a sorry. They go hand in hand. Shit. I don't know which one is worse because an absentee father is a sorry ass daddy.
I mean, but an absentee father. Okay, so what about? I'm saying like a father who is kinda, they see their kid maybe 3 to 4 times a year. Because I'm gonna use mine for example. Because he see about 3 to 4 times a year. I mean, to me,
I get what you're saying in that space because I can say this. In the space where I have my son, he doesn't see his son as much as, I would love for him to see him. But we have more, our priorities align a lot better. Not that, he prioritizes my son the way I feel like he should, whatever. But if I talk about education, or I talk about college, or we talk about moving forward, or we talk about his future, our visions are the same.
Okay.
Like, so when I send him there, I can send him with books to read. I can send him with his words. I can send him with the stuff he needs. And I know that they're going to take care of and make sure that he's done that there.
And that's a blessing for you. But I've talked to people who have kids by people, and they have a structured home. They send their kids over to their daddy house, and there's absolutely no structure. And it's like, oh, well, you can drink, you can smoke, you can
do whatever you want to do here.
I don't even know if you heard. You heard me?
Right.
I'm calling, let me speak to. Well, shit, did he come over to speak here?
Right. So that's the difference when it comes to my daughter and her dad versus my son and his dad. And I would prefer for his dad to be there because his dad does align with the visions and the values and the morals that I have. His dad will make sure that things get taken care of. So if I send him down there with stuff, I know that they're going to make sure it's taken care of. I don't question whether or not education is important, whether or not they have the same vision. If we ever come to a point where one day he's like, hey, I want to go live with my dad, I'm never going to feel like, oh my gosh, your future. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Because I know that
a lot of parents do feel that way.
Right. I know, I just know that he doesn't spend enough time with him. Whereas when it comes to her dad, I know what you mean when you say like, sorry ass dad, like, she ain't there. Like, spring break. Like, she wasn't there all week. Like, and I've just had to come to the conclusion that when you go to your dad's, you ain't going to your daddy's. You going to your daddy's and then you going to everybody else. Like, there's no level of structure. There's no importance of where my kids going to be. I ain't no watching over.
So,
like, I get that
So I'm not
part.
really talking about that part. What I'm talking about is, like, when I say absentee daddies, like, okay, daddies are not there. Or dads that, like, let your kids down all the time. I'm gonna come get you this weekend, and they don't show up. And then they call next week. Oh yeah, I'm gonna come get you, or I might be a little busy. I'm gonna try to come get you, but they constantly like letting your kids down.
I don't know because at least they can be there. Because I got both. You know what I'm saying? I got the absentee dad because my husband would be there if he could. He's just not. He's absentee because he locked up.
Right.
Where versus I got the one that say, okay, he called. He asked him, "Did you ask your daddy for some gas money for your car? Did you ask him for some money?" And he say, "Well, he ain't answering." He said he gonna be here, in, an hour, and he never show up. You call him back. Well, he said he gonna be here in 2 hours. He just.
So how does that make you feel like as a mother? Because to me that's fucked up.
I don't care no more. He's finna be 18.
Okay, now, but I mean, like when they're younger.
That's why I told you I used to make excuses for him then. You know what I'm saying? I never like put him out there like that. I used to always be like, well, maybe your daddy got caught up. Just go get in the bed. We'll call him tomorrow. Most likely he'll pick you up tomorrow. I always used to make excuses.
See, that's messed up.
You know what I'm saying?
I would rather for you not to be around than for you to be telling my kid all the time, you on your way, you coming to get them, or I'm going to buy you this and you never do.
But the thing is, an absentee daddy versus a sorry daddy, I probably still would want the sorry daddy because at least he see him sometime.
And he knows.
And at least you get some reality
and he
of
gets
what
some
that
type
is,
of
what that
reality
looks like.
Where my husband can't be there. It don't matter what the fuck he say. He can say all day long that, "Ooh, I wish I could."
But I'm not talking about that type of absentee because that's out of his control.
It don't matter. It wasn't out of his fucking control.
I mean,
that's fucking absentee. I don't know how you look at it. That's fucking absentee.
It is, but I'm talking about the absentee that get a woman pregnant and he never is never around.
It don't matter.
And so that kid don't even know who her daddy is or his daddy is. Like
that would be different,
I know my daddy is he's somewhere here in Oklahoma, but he has nothing to do with me. When I say absentee, that's what I'm talking about.
Then what would my husband be?
I mean, yes, he's absentee.
Okay.
But
that's all I'm saying. He's absentee.
But your daughter know who he is.
It doesn't matter.
He was her daddy up until a certain. I mean, he's still her daddy, but he was still involved.
He was involved in her life now, but she has how many more years to go that he can't go to a prom, graduate. That's a fucking absentee daddy. He can tell her all day fucking long on that phone that baby, I'm sorry, I can't be there. Like,
I
how do you
get
know?
that.
That's what I'm saying. But the other kid's daddy can say all day long that, I'll be there. And he may be there. But on the other side, this one will never get to be there.
No, that's true because that part is out of his control. Yes, the situation probably could have been his control, but right now it's out of his control. I'm talking about the dudes walking around here who have kids. They in the city, they have kids, but they just choose not to be involved in their life.
I'm just saying, I got both.
When I say absentee, that's what I'm talking about. Is you can be in your kids' life, you just choose not to because you don't want to. I mean, you ain't even calling, checking on them. You just don't give two shits.
Right.
Fuck her. Yeah. Fuck that kid over there. I didn't want that baby anyway, so I'm going on about my life. That's what I'm talking about.
That's just a sorry.
That's sorry. I mean, but I think it depends on her,
which creates toxic mamas.
Well, it creates toxic mamas.
I think absentee daddies may create toxic baby mamas.
Possibly. But you have a choice as a mother.
You know what? Any of them. You could be a good daddy, a sorry daddy, an absentee daddy, and it's still going to create a toxic mama. It just depends on her. That woman.
It do.
That woman. But I also believe this. I believe that when you have a loving and nurturing mother, if she hooks up with a loving and nurturing husband or man who decides to take and fill the place of that absentee father, that absentee father doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
I think that he can, that loving and absentee,
but you got to be lucky enough. I don't want to say lucky enough, but hopefully lucky enough to do that.
Yes. I mean, and yes, because that may not happen. But like even my situationship, like he was blessed enough to have someone who filled in that space for him, who has given him, like, and he talks about him all the time, like was blessed to have a stepfather who stepped in and was a great example for him and his brother. Like he gave him so much. Like even when he talks about it all the time. He probably talks about him more than he talks about his own father. Like how much he got from that space. So I do believe that being a loving and nurturing mother transcends over to your children. And I don't believe that God leaves you by yourself to have to deal with that by yourself. Because he came in, they were probably about 15, 16 years old, and he still was able to fill that space and give them something that they were missing from their own father. So I do believe that being a bitter, angry, mad, pissed off woman pushes away the opportunity to have someone else come in and fill that space. And even if, like, because if you have absent or sorry, because even absent or sorry, either direction, like I feel like if you're bitter, you still miss the opportunity to have somebody else come in and fill that space. Because as a bitter, angry, pissed off woman, nobody wants to deal with you.
No, and nobody wants to hear the bullshit that you got going on. Because if I was a man and I heard a woman like, my baby, because girl, we were just having this conversation, like, with one of my family members, because her baby daddy raised her kids, and she'd be like, I hate when he do this. Like, he get this money for these kids, and he don't get them a cell phone. Well, he doesn't have to get them a cell phone. I mean, if that's his rules in his house and he don't feel like they, have these cell phones, then that's his rules.
Right.
Well, I feel like they should be able to do this. Well, you can't run his house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He take care of them kids. And you don't. You know what I'm saying? You that toxic mom, and you just got to kind of sit back because that's the choice you made.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the choice you made to step out of these kids' life and let somebody else, because it wouldn't get to the point where I would be that type of mother to even get to a point where somebody else got to even raise my fucking kids.
Right.
So evidently, you stepped out of your mother role, and he had to take on that responsibility of them kids, and then it's no longer not to say not your business, but it's no longer
to a point. It's no longer your business.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of like the same thing with here. Like, even though my ex-husband, he's a good father to them, but he can't really tell me what I can and can't do in my house. Because,
exactly.
And one of my rules is no cell phones. Like, only my daughter has a cell phone, but my sons don't have a cell phone. And he why don't they have a cell phone? If you want them to have one, you can buy them one. But me, I'm not. They don't need cell phones. I drop them off. I pick them up. They're always with me. There's no point in them having a cell phone. So, I mean, it's different rules, and you can't necessarily control what I do from outside the household.
And please don't try to.
Exactly.
Because your rules is your rules, and my rules is my rules. You know what I'm saying? So don't, that's the whole thing, and I tried to explain to her the other day, you can't really say that, I can't stand him. Why? Because he doing a damn good job with them.
Taking care of your kids.
He taking care of your kids, and he ain't never asking you for nothing, and you ripping and running these motherfucking streets like you ain't got no fucking sense. See. So why Why even be like, oh, I can't stand him? Why can't you? Why?
You need to be appreciating him.
You hear? Shit, I'd be like, no.
So
no.
toxic mothers. How do men deal with toxic mothers?
They probably just don't, because men, they got a lot of patience. Like, a woman will probably be more patient with that toxic, that absentee daddy. But most men ain't finna be dealing with no toxic mama. Oh, motherfucker, you all stupid. Because that's when she do shit like that, call them and cuss them out. And I would just block her ass, too.
So, and I think with men, it's going to be two things. They're either going to take you to court, they're going to get full custody or joint custody, or they're just not going to deal with you at all.
Or you have the ones who will deal with toxic baby mamas, and she run their damn life.
And that's a horrible thing, because there's a lot of toxic ass mamas that run the fucking...
There is a lot of women out here
because they just want to see
who are toxic.
Exactly.
And they running the shit out of good men. So he wants to be a daddy. He insists on being a daddy. He ain't never gonna leave. But she run every aspect of the relation of what's going on with their son or their children.
Exactly.
So you have that. I tell you when to come and when to go. I take you to court every other second. I feel like if you get 2 pennies, you get 2 pennies of a raise. I'm gonna take you to court
to get an increase.
Even though you pay for half of the child's daycare, you paying for every activity your kid is in. You get your kid every weekend, and you still go to court because every time she sees some kind of increase, or she thinks you got an
because you and your woman then took some vacations. Oh, you motherfucker! So y'all got money over there like that,
right? So she think you got an increase, then she want to take you to court, and you got men out here. There are a lot of men out here whose lives are literally being ran by a woman who is toxic as shit, but he wants to be a part of his child's life, so he just deals with it. Oh, my son can come over, but he can't spend the night. And then I don't call you till 11, 12 o'clock at night to tell you to come pick him up, or I'm coming to pick him up. Or when you're ready to drop him off because you got something to do, then I purposely don't answer my phone or don't answer your calls till 4-5 hours later to ruin your plans for the day. Or when I get your kid home, then I gotta complain about every item in their bag. Or did you make sure that they did their homework? Did you wash their clothes? Did you do their shoes? I've had those experiences as a woman who's dating a man like that. I've dated that before.
I've dated that before.
Yeah.
Shit.
I have too.
But you can't, that's shit. My situation that's a lot of situations out here. A lot of situations where that baby mama's just being that fucking asshole.
And I've never been that baby mama.
I haven't. I did at a younger age used to tell him, like, you're not going to have him at this person's house, this person's house, this person's house. Like, if you going to be with a woman, be with a woman. Just don't have him transferring. This is when he was a baby, though. Don't have him going her and her and her. But did I trip about, I'm not going to pull up, be like, hey, no.
I was still never that person. Even at that, I was still never that person.
Like, I used to be younger.
Even younger me, I was still never that person.
Younger, but this is when the whole fact of the matter, when I was younger, that's when we still, in my mind, said we were still fucking, first of all.
Well, that's why.
Duh, I know. But the fact of the matter is when I had him at my sister, I was done. I don't care who you with. He can be spending the night with you. If y'all packed y'all's bag and he went, it is what it is. As long as he wasn't in no harm's way. Now, I just never...
When my babies were younger, I was more concerned about things like that. Because they're vulnerable, you can't really talk. I don't really know what happens. Exactly. I don't know where you're going. I don't know... Like, I was really particular about, like, my kids. I mean, you can't really control whatever, but I just don't want my kids...
I guess I didn't have that problem.
As babies...
But you might have knew where he was. Like, I don't need you to have my baby at the trap house, first of all.
Right.
I don't need you. But that's what I'm saying. You got to kind of lay those rules down with my baby daddy.
But see, he was engaged and got married shortly after,
I know. See, yours did, but
I didn't have that problem.
Right, mine didn't. So, like, every other month that you with this person, or, you leave my baby over here with this person, and it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know who this
got
person
with a new
is.
girl, y'all,
And,
yeah.
yeah, like
y'all
when
been
my
together
babies
for 2 weeks and you didn't left my son with her overnight. Who the fuck is she? I don't even know her. Like, just bring my baby back home. Like, if he wasn't gonna go home to her that night, like, he used to leave him, like, with people that he just got with, and he would not go back. Like, he would just leave them there. Like, who the fuck is she? I barely even know this girl's name. Like,
okay, I can understand stuff like that.
Right, like, I've had those situations where I'm like, okay, wait. Now, he was supposed to be with you, but he went from you to her, and who is she? Like, I don't even know who she is. And I don't even know that till he come home, Mama, my daddy was fighting with so-and-so, and they was running after the car, and where'd you stay, baby? I stayed at her house. He didn't come back. Like, what? Right.
Like, you left my son with some woman that I don't know? Like, who the fuck is she?
Oh, well, that's different.
Little kids. Okay,
like,
that's my thing.
Like, long as he can talk.
When you start talking,
okay.
I'm okay with that kind of stuff because you can come home and tell me if something. But if you little, like pre-verbal, like I don't know, you want, like you can't talk. I have an issue with some things. Like, don't have my baby all over the great. Like, because I don't have our baby all over the great.
I can see being that baby mama, like, you know, would bring them
home.
But
that wouldn't necessarily be a toxic baby mama. That just be a concerned.
You just being concerned,
right? But then people make it like you toxic. Oh, you just trying to control. You trying to run. No, my baby is 9 months old and shouldn't be here, and over here.
Nigga, it's 20 degrees outside. Nigga, and you done took him out and you done took him to 5 different houses. Like, what the fuck?
But that's how, you know, and then the job that I do, that's how you end up with babies that end up in hospitals and don't nobody know what happened because you left your baby with some random person.
And they done got molested or some shit.
Or they done broke your baby's head skull, or they done shook the shit out your baby and now you got a vegetable. So for me, that's where I get particular about pre-verbal key. My babies at like 3 years old, for me, that's a concern for me. Don't have my baby, because I'm not going to do that here. I'm not the kind of person that's going to have people in and out of my home and all around my kid. So I'm going to ask for the same respect from you. Don't have my baby in and out of everybody home and around my kids, because everybody's not going to do your baby like you do your baby.
Now, as long as y'all in a relationship, I didn't care. Like, like he did get with somebody after, you know, about 3 or something, and he was in a long-term relationship, and I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I used to talk to her all the time. It was no big thing.
Okay.
But my thing is, like, going from woman to woman, and
that's different. And yeah, like I said, shortly after he was with somebody else.
Yeah, as long as you with somebody else and y'all in a relationship, y'all good. That's fine.
Right. Yeah. So it was right. I mean, I didn't have
it ain't my business at that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Long as you know, like, you know, because a man will tell you quick them up. You having that man around me, that nigga around my son. Boy, hush.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be quick to, like, when was the last time we been together? Like, hush. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me who I can have around her. And you didn't have Becky, Sue, Keisha, Jackie,
and Tanisha.
You hear me? He know all of them. And he know that, you know, he can't say nothing around the other girl. Like, don't come to me with that shit. Like, no. Like,
But yeah, that was my biggest thing. But once my babies get to be old enough to talk and, you know, we have the discussions and I know my babies are safe, I'm good. That's not an issue for me. Like, but pre-verbal, oh yeah, I don't have my baby around
that's
everybody.
different. That's different. But some people are toxic even when your kids are older.
Yeah.
Because I can't even understand people who are toxic and you got 13-year-olds.
When they can talk to each other.
When they can talk to they can communicate with their daddy without you.
Even if they ain't got no cell phone, if they call your phone,
you can just hand the phone. You ain't even gotta say hello. You just gotta
that number come up, and here you go.
And get a phone. Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand that level of toxicity.
Because I don't
or your baby is. I feel like any kid that is 5 and older can talk on their own. So I don't understand why we need to communicate so much in that space. Like, why do I?
Well, no, I agree with that. When your kids get a certain age,
and
like,
I'm
gonna
say 8 and below. Okay, you know,
we need to talk about some stuff.
You may have to still talk about some stuff, but once they hit about, maybe you know, because I really don't need to talk to you at that point. My child can come to me and be like, "Hey, my daddy's trying to pick me up this weekend." I'm like, oh,
yeah, that kind of stuff. But like, say your kid is in trouble and you might need to communicate with the daddy. So it is still every now and then that you might need to communicate with the daddy. But on a regular basis, I don't need to communicate with you.
And I never did because I don't know, maybe that's because I guess I don't know if he would be at that point he'd be a toxic daddy because he wasn't. This, like, why even call you and tell you something?
Well, yeah. I mean,
You
if
know
you
what I'm
weren't really
saying?
involved or there or
Yeah.
whatever, then yeah, I don't see it.
Hey,
But
no
I mean,
point.
but good dads. You
I
there?
wish,
You're at the
though,
school
exactly.
every day.
Yeah, a
You
good
taking
daddy.
care of the things that your children need. You providing for what your kids need. I don't understand the level of I'm not meeting you nowhere, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. I don't understand those level of I don't understand that concept for some women.
Me
Some
either.
women really literally just be going over the top with some stuff, and I think it's just because you either you still want your baby daddy, or you don't want him. You miserable, so you want him to be miserable.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of it is they're miserable. They don't have anybody. But some baby mamas actually move on once they get somebody.
But they still toxic, baby mamas.
Still toxic.
They are.
So
But it was a good conversation.
yes, very much so.
It was.
So, you guys know we are on SoundCloud every Sunday, YouTube every Sunday. YouTube comes a little bit later than SoundCloud just because of the way it uploads. It takes a little bit longer to upload to YouTube. But
So I want to correct you real quick. So we're actually on SoundCloud every day, any time of the day, but we post new episodes every Sunday.
sure,
Okay.
we're on YouTube every day, any
That's
time of
true.
the day.
We
post.
We
new
always say
episodes.
just every Sunday, like it's the
I mean, we
Sunday.
post new episodes every Sunday.
Yes.
On both SoundCloud and YouTube. We are also on SeattleHipHop.com every Monday and Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Those episodes are going to be a little different than the episodes that we're actually doing on Sundays because they just don't line up. But, you guys can catch us on SeattleHipHop.com. Download the app. Make sure you have the app on your phone. And you can listen to SeattleHipHop.com without at any time. That's a 24-hour, 7 days a week platform. They have really good music. They do have new artists on there. So just kind of support SeattleHipHop.com. And then we are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On Facebook and Twitter, it's just MochaTea Podcast. And then on Instagram, it's MochaTea_podcast. And then on Gmail, for any inquiries, any kind of business setup, any questions you guys have for us, we are at MochaTea2018@gmail.com. Again, that's MochaTea, so MochaTea 2018, so the number 2018@gmail.com. If you have anything for us, just let us know, and we are out.
Peace.